Now, if we think about it, the whole financial system was designed by man or persons, okay, to make people's lives better. All of us have to be engaged in finance in that way. So immediately by putting personal finance in the core concept section, you know, among other things, motivate the newly brought into finance student. Hey, this is something that I know I would like to know about, either for myself or to help my parents or whatever the reason. But knowing this will help me a great deal. And that's great because they see an application immediately from the concept. But it isn't like this is what they do. This is what they're interested in. So that works very well. But it doesn't just work for personally. The financial service industry is enormous and global. And it's growing more and more. And so if you should choose a career later to be in financial services, to help people with their finances, okay, then this is preparing you for that as well. And then finally, I'd mention, suppose you decide you want to be in government. You would like to work in the government of the country. Well, look what you do there, or either assist, or if you're elected to the offices, you are running the show. That what you need to do there are, of course, you pass laws. Well, finance is probably one of the most regulated, along with medicine, areas in the law. And to do a good job at regulation and so forth, you need to know about finance. If you were doing taxes, yes, you need to know about what taxes and the implications they are. If you are going to be a member of the Federal Reserve, they have to understand risks and how markets work and so forth. So it's personal finance, which has grown from something that was very touchy-feely, learn at the knee of someone the way to think about the world, into a very sophisticated, developed scientific approach to using data and information and modeling and reducing costs. I don't want to go on, but I can only point out to you, since the beginning of the 21st century, the transaction costs for example, trading in securities and so forth in the United States have dropped by 80 to 90%, maybe more, maybe even 95%. In developed non-U.S. countries, it's dropped by a similar amount. And in emerging market countries, where you think of, this is where they have the least sophisticated financial system, the cost of transactions, the cost of executing risk controls has dropped by even a bigger percentage. It's just multiples. It was high, but now it's much, much lower. So these are real effects you have on society. That's why personal finance, in my mind, belongs as a core concept. And again, I don't know of any introductory textbook that's sold that has that kind of approach and has that subject at the center of things to be learned in order to be introduced to finance.